I definitely feel like it's a double standard, now that you mention it that way. I've thought about many kind of women's issues, but somehow the man's being more comfortable than women's never occurred to me. But it did occur to me that our clothes are more tailored to be revealing, to accentuate on women's body, and though I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, if that's what you choose and that's what you want, that's what you feel that day, I do see how it really should be about comfortableness and how you want to express yourself. And it should be that way for everybody.
Well, I see that females or women, they do have like tight clothing. It's like, it seems uncomfortable. Like, they look pretty, they look beautiful, but I wouldn't wear something so tight that I'd have to like stand up straight the entire day, or I would have to like put on shoes and my feet would be sore at the end of the day. I like to wear things that I can just slip on, slip off, and it doesn't really, it matters how you feel about it. If you want to show what you want to feel, if that's how you feel about tight clothes, then you should wear what you want to wear, basically.
I'm the youngest of my family, and I have 3 older brothers, and for them, I see them getting dressed, and it's so simple and so quick because they don't really second guess what they're wearing, and then they're so comfortable, and it's like easy for them to run because they're just wearing tennis shoes. But then for girls, there's that like society's expectation of wearing heels on special occasions or throughout the week or on like Friday nights or whatever. But I don't know, I don't really do that, and I understand that like that's a personal choice, but at the same time I try to focus more on comfort and what's safer.
And if people kind of became more aware of that, and that they would start to maybe style women's clothes in a more practical way. Like, you can still make it look pretty, you can still like make it look fancy or whatnot, but you can do it in a way that's comfortable, that someone can move in. Yeah. That even when I like take care of little kids a lot, so some of my clothing that I just can't pick up little kids, and I can't like hold them and stuff because it's so restricting.
One day I'll be bohemian, the next day I'll be preppy, the next day I'll be punk. So, yeah, and so today I'm 1900s.
Tell me about the 1900s.
So today we're doing a fashion show, and I got chosen to be the 1900s, and this was right before the women's suffrage movement. So I'm trying to exude the feminine ideal of beauty, but also be strong and show women that they don't have to follow all those men's rules. I'm wearing a corset right now, but we were gonna do the whole like stuffing right here and doing the big old butt, but that was out too. It started moving into the more, because now we're moving into the 20s and stuff like that, and the more boyish figure and stuff like that. Right now, not comfortable. I was saying that it's, obviously it's fun for me to wear because I don't have to wear it every day, but I had to go to the bathroom, and I was like trying to get up my dress and everything, and I was like, did women back then used to take other women into the bathroom to help them like this? Because it's hard, like it's uncomfortable and it's hard, and to think that women had to have every little hair in place, and my teacher was getting mad about my bra straps. He was like, they would not have had that, and also this was a little loose, and he's like, no, it needs to be tight. He's like, you have to be perfect.
But when I was young, I used to wear girdles and something we called the Merry Widow corset. It held us in and had kind of a push-up bra, and we wore it under formals to the prom and things like that. Very uncomfortable. But we wanted our waists to be as small as possible.
And I'm like, I couldn't imagine the type of like oppression that women must have used to feel, and like self-expression. Like, I don't feel like if I were born back then, I don't know who I would have been. Or I really don't know. I wouldn't know who I was, you know?
It hasn't always been that way. Men have been very flamboyant in their costume in fashion history. Back in the Rococo era, men were very, very fancy. Very tough men were very fancy. And the women, not in the Rococo era, but slightly before that, more in the Cavalier Baroque era, the women had to be really understated. They didn't show their hair. The men had their hair out in fluffy curls and wore frills and ties and lace all over their clothing.
Looking at the men's fashion, because if men were more into fashion, they have the cutest things, you know? And I don't know, I watch Gossip Girl, it's a TV show, and I wish guys dressed like that in nice suits, nice outfits, but it's weird, you're right, they don't. I mean, it's just like t-shirts and jeans, you know?
I don't think it should be that way. I think people should have the ability to wear like what makes them feel happy and confident, but also I feel like at the same time, we shouldn't feel like that in order to be confident and happy and feel sexy, you need to be wearing shoes that damage basically your entire body, and that you should be basically showcasing every little angle and contour of your body in a way that, you know, men aren't really, you know, made to do.
Now that seems like what's normal, like guys get the pants and the shorts that have like super deep pockets, and then girls get like the either like shorts that like look like they have a pocket, or like it has like a super small pocket, and like that's normal. But I mean, like, I feel that like both women and men should have the right to like not only dress like cute but like comfortably and without like getting judged or being like, oh, you look lazy. It's like, no, that's what I like.
That's true, they do have a lot of pockets, big pockets too.
Well, I would love to have more clothes with pockets in them and more practical tools that way. I hate carrying a purse, but
Well, I definitely noticed, like, when skinny jeans came in style, some skinny jeans would just have fake pockets. The pockets would be sewn, so they wouldn't even give you anywhere to even put the smallest amount of change. So, women and men are always going to have different fashions, but I think that, especially with the sewn pockets, that's the most irritating. I've noticed that girls will put their phones in their bras because they don't have a pocket or a purse or something like that, and that's really dangerous because of the radiation or whatever comes off the phones, and that's right next to your heart, it's right next to your boobs, it's right next to so many important things.
I wear high heels for like a special occasion or like a party or New Year's Eve or something, but I don't wear them all the time, and when I do, I always pack like a pair of flats in with me because I do care about like being comfortable, not just being cute, so that matters.
Sometimes for a special occasion I wear high heels, but I bring flats because maybe I'm doing a lot of walking and I want my feet to be comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think women should have to wear high heels. It's something that isn't good for your heel and for your foot, and beauty isn't attached to what you wear.
It should be different because not all women like to wear heels. My feet are not built for that. I have paddle feet. I should be a swimmer. Yeah, and long sleeve.
I like sneakers because you can run in them and jump in them.
Yeah, that's cool. it's nice to be able to play in your clothing, right?
I think that it would be so great if women felt like they had the choice. So if they wanted to wear clothes that they felt, you know, that were what we perceive as more revealing or uncomfortable, I think that it should be their choice. But it's so hard for something to be completely your choice when you're so impacted by everything that's around you, and you're constantly being spoon-fed images in the media, and you're constantly being told, oh, that's sexy on you, oh, I like when you wear that, and stuff like that. I think that it becomes really hard to make your own decision about what you genuinely like to wear. I know that men's clothing is often, you know, harder to rip sometimes, or, you know, it has multiple layers in it, and you're kind of looking at what are we always expecting men to do versus what are we expecting women to do, and kind of the functions of clothing.
I'm not sure what the designers have in mind when they design women's clothing, but obviously women's clothing usually is more revealing than men's clothing. I mean, it's meant to accentuate curves and to fit to the person's body, but I've never tried on girls' clothing, so I'm not sure if it's any more comfortable.
As women, we have many, many more choices: pockets, comfortable, functional. But it's interesting, the price doesn't seem to go down. No matter how much it looks like something that should be less expensive, actually it's not.
Yeah, I think when we dress up for like an event, and men just go, oh, I'll just get my suit, and women go, oh, I need a new dress. Why do we do that?
Yeah.
Why do we choose to go in a dress? What's wrong with the dress you might have in your closet? You know, why do we have to get a new dress?
I just have to have a new
He's
one.
not getting a new suit.
Yeah.
Maybe a new tie, but not a new suit, you know?
I think, personally, I feel, I don't wear a lot of makeup because I don't have time in the morning to put it on. I have friends who wake up at 4 in the morning to start putting on makeup, and I think, oh, I love sleep, and that just seems really ridiculous to me. I've made my getting ready schedule. I contribute 3 minutes to makeup, and that's like usually my limit, and I usually cut myself off from there, which I think is important, because I think if you're spending more time doing that, it becomes, you're really fixating and you're looking at yourself in the mirror, and the more I look at myself and the more I notice about myself, and I don't like to notice about myself because it's better to just keep going and keep moving, and I think that's better for me. I think if makeup makes you feel better, then that, of course, that's an okay thing to do. I think it's hard to be like, oh, I feel better wearing makeup, because again, you're being constantly fed all these images, and you're constantly and subconsciously comparing yourself to what everyone else looks like and what the ideal of beauty is.
Under pressure, you got to choose what style of color, yellow, green, red, or blue. The crowd is waiting to hear your song. No hesitating, time to get your groove on. Final countdown, getting ready now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gotta look hotter than hot, get dressed up to rock. No time to stop, ready or not. Gotta look hotter than hot, gotta show what you got. No more time on the clock, ready or not.
Hey guys, so I'm going to be showing you how to, what 11 through 14-year-olds should have in their makeup, and how they should hold it.
I don't know, I can't imagine painting over my actual face every morning. Honestly, usually when I look at someone who's wearing a lot of makeup, it kind of seems clownish to me, and not in a way I'm making fun of them, but it just doesn't really look natural. It's not natural at all, no one looks like that. I usually just kind of see an androgynous type being with these just different ceremonial things about them.
I think it's all a matter of personal taste and personal choice. And for myself, I like to wear comfortable clothes, yet stylish clothes. But I'm much more into comfort than I am into style. In terms of women, yeah, I think they should be able to dress any way that fits them and their lifestyle and their what they want to communicate, how they feel about themselves.
I think the reason is the sexualization of girls and women. I think we're supposed to be on the market. We're supposed to be pretty and sought after by men.
Look, imagine your last hurrah at your senior prom and getting kicked out for wearing pants. This scenario is a reality for a Cherryville High School senior. WBTV's Mark Davenport tells us this action isn't sitting well with her mother, who says she's trying to get answers.
A pair of red jeans at the center of a Cherryville High School prom controversy.
In a way, kind of like a slap in the face, because you can't get that memory back.
She doesn't really have a memory of it at all. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Schaefer Rupert and her mother, Sean McQuaig, had a great time leading up to her senior prom.
Almost a tearful event because, she's getting older.
And can make her own decisions.
It's just the way she's always been, and she wanted to feel comfortable in her own skin.
To do that, Schaefer decided to wear something different to prom. Instead of a gown, she wore
tight red pants and a black dress shirt, hat, black shoes, basically it.
She wasn't on the dance floor more than 5 minutes when her senior prom was ended abruptly.
Teacher tapped me on the shoulder. She had a problem with what I was wearing. I thought it was because of the hat or the leather jacket, and I was like, well, I'll take those off. She was like, no, it's the pants.
What was your reaction to that?
Thought it was ridiculous.
And her mother agrees.
Well, we want to put out the message to all teenagers that you should be allowed to be yourself.
And now they're trying to get a straight answer from school officials.
We looked in the student code of conduct book, and there isn't a dress code at all.
McQuaig even talked to Cherryville's assistant principal and showed her the Gaston School's code of conduct and the prom invitation.
She looked at it with me and she said, you know what, you're right, there is no dress code here.
But there is a young woman without a memory of her senior prom. Mark Davenport, WBTV, on your side.
Like, how I think that could change is just if women start to speak up more about what they want out of their clothing. Like, so many women either really, really value comfort and or they really, really value their fashion, and I think that those need to merge. Is comfort and fashion, and still being able to be stylish and have places to put your stuff.
There's the rugged with a soft side, and there's rugged and quiet, and then there's preppy, and then there's, I don't know, just like all these like kind of aesthetics that kind of like correspond to personalities, and like through what you're wearing, you're also kind of letting people know what you're going to be like when you talk to them, and then you try and fit the persona that you're putting forward.
Just a couple of years ago, the metrosexual was king, or queen. But now, American advertisers have a clear new message. Masculinity is in crisis, so bring back the real men and smear those queers.
Exchange one metrosexual for one Bud Light man. Yes.
Oh, wait, what? What? Hey! Oh!
Manicures, pedicures, matching belts, shoes, and watches. Please, just give me my Brute. Brute, the essence of man.
Brute, for guys who think showering is gay.
Can I get a light beer?
Sure. Do you care how it tastes?
No, I don't really care.
Well, when you start caring, just take off your skirt and I'll give you a Miller Lite.
Man up, because if you're drinking a light beer without great Pilsner taste, you're missing the point of drinking beer.
We're here, we're queer, we don't drink beer. Judging by these next ads, being a real man is all about clogging your arteries.
You eat that wussy sandwich and we all take a hit.
That ain't man food. This is man food.
It's Arby's Steakhouse toasted sub. Thinly sliced roast beef topped with Swiss, crispy onions, and a zesty cracked peppercorn sauce.
Nothing says I am totally heterosexual like zesty cracked peppercorn sauce. You could choose to ignore these man rules, but I wouldn't advise it. Being a sissy has violent consequences.
speed walking. I pity you, fool. You a disgrace to the man race. It's time to run like a real man. Take that, speed walker. Do it again, sucker. And there's gonna be trouble with the capital Mr. T. Snickers, get some nuts.
Like, I know this one guy dresses up at my school. I absolutely adore him. He always wears a little vest, like the vest and a bow tie, and people are always like, oh, he probably likes other guys, and I'm like, no, like, he's just really into what he wears, and I think that's just the mindset they have there, and it really bugs me.
Sometimes I feel maybe fashion it's fine when it's art, but when it comes down to being something you define by or something that makes you who you are, it's not art anymore. People wear what society tells them to wear. People like to conform into society. They want to have like a group where they can belong, but that doesn't necessarily have to do with your clothes.
And at high school, in any case, everybody wants to fit in and be, loved and everyone to like them. So you just do what people, or what you think people would like, what people expect of you. So you wear the American Eagle jeans, for example, you dress like your peers, you wear the basketball shorts because the girls will like you because you're sporty, and I wish it was different.
I think people have to dare, and I think people are daring. Around here in downtown Santa Cruz, I see people dressed differently all the time, and people are making very unique fashion choices, and I see things that I don't see anywhere else. And some things that appear to be trends these days, like women wearing hats and vests and all that kind of thing. So I think that the further away you are from a conformist environment, if you're working on Wall Street, men are wearing what they're wearing, women are wearing what they're wearing, and there's a certain conformity on television where they're literally telling men and women what to wear in different environments. But if you live somewhere where there's more freedom, where there's more openness, where work situations are more casual or don't require formality, it's like, okay, we're not going to take you seriously.
I just live and walk comfortably in my fancy shoes.
Just wear what makes you feel good and kind of question why it makes you feel good. And I'm no shame in dressing for somebody, but also realize that maybe you don't want to, maybe it's not healthy to try and look super attractive every single second of every day. Save some room for the individual. You're not a showpiece.
Just like anything in society, I think that anything can be a tool for good or for expression and giving us more consciousness, and it can also be restrictive or punitive. And so I think that it's all how you use it, and I think that the responsibility of anyone that has influence over people should always try to have it so that it allows for human expression and for people to reach their potential, as opposed to restrict it or put people into niches.
So, lastly, I'll leave you with this idea of imagining a different world. I'd like you to imagine a world where girls and women don't spend an hour every morning putting on their makeup and doing their hair. I'd like you to imagine a world where women are valued for what they say and what they do rather than the way they look. I would like you to imagine a world where instead of spending time on dress and appearance, we actually directed our energies to dealing with serious problems like human trafficking, sexualized violence, homophobia, poverty, hunger. And lastly, because you are the architects of your future, I would like to remind you that sometimes architects have to demolish paradigms in order to build a better world. So my question for you is, what better world will you build? Thank you.
March on, men. It's a ridiculous set of things to have on your feet.